The events of the movie begin on Earth in the not-too-distant future, when the planet is facing a global ecological catastrophe. Climatic changes and environmental pollution threaten human existence. The only way out is the project of colonization of the distant planet Alpha Prime, which can become a new home for mankind. To speed up the colonization process, a massive hyperspace portal is built, but in order for it to function, a similar one must be built on the planet Alpha Prime itself. The Robinson family must travel there in their spaceship and begin preparations for the new portal. The spaceship Jupiter 2 prepares for the mission. Its crew includes Professor John Robinson, his wife Maureen, and their 3 children: eldest daughter Judy, middle child Penny, and youngest son Will, who has an interest in science and technology. Don West, an experienced and talented astronaut who is conflicted and skeptical of the project from the start, is hired as pilot. The entire crew dives into hypersonic for the long journey. However, their mission encounters unexpected problems. The villain Dr. Zachary Smith, working for a terrorist organization, plans to disrupt the flight. He infiltrates the ship and installs a program that should activate the robot on board and destroy Jupiter 2 when it leaves hyperspace. However, Smith is mistakenly locked on the ship and fails to evacuate before the ship takes off. While the crew sleeps, Smith's program activates a robot that begins to destroy the ship's internal systems. Will awakens to strange noises and finds the robot destroying itself. He alerts the rest of the crew, and they manage to stop the robot before it destroys the ship. However, the robot manages to cause serious damage, causing the Jupiter 2 to lose control and veer off course, heading into unknown space. The crew now faces a new problem. They are lost in space, far from their intended destination. They discover Smith, who was in a deep sleep, and arrest him, accusing him of sabotage. However, despite his guilt, they realize that they will have to work together to survive. John Robinson takes command, and their long journey home, full of trials and dangers, begins. The first major challenge is approaching an unknown planet. Realizing that they need to find fuel and resources to continue their journey, the crew decides to land. Upon landing, they discover strange life forms that behave aggressively. The family splits up, exploring the planet. John and Don go off to explore, while Maureen and the children stay on the ship. Soon Penny and Will, despite warnings, decide to go outside and find themselves in a dangerous situation, encountering the creatures. They manage to escape, but they realize that the planet is not hospitable and need to return to the ship as soon as possible. Meanwhile, John and Don discover the ruins of an ancient civilization and a strange artifact of a time portal. They suspect that it can be used to return home, but they fail to activate it. Returning to the ship, they encounter locals and a fight ensues, resulting in Don being injured. However, they manage to return to Jupiter 2 and the crew leaves the dangerous planet. The next leg of their journey involves a series of life-threatening events for the crew. In one episode, Will, whose programming abilities play an important role in the movie, attempts to regain control of the robot. This causes tension between him and his father John, who believes the robot is a danger. Will, feeling unappreciated, decides to prove himself right and continues to work on the robot despite the inhibitions. They find themselves trapped in a time anomaly that transports them to the ruins of a huge spaceship lost in time. The crew decides to explore the ship, hoping to find useful technology or resources. Inside, they encounter an eerie atmosphere of dark, empty corridors full of signs of destruction. They soon learn that the ship belonged to another human expedition, also lost in space. Among the wreckage, they find the diaries of the former crew, which speak of strange changes in people's minds due to the effects of a temporal anomaly. Exploring further, they encounter what appears to be a replica of the Jupiter 2 ship itself from the future. Will and John meet their future version of an older Will who seems to have been stuck there for years. This older Will warns them that time flows differently in this anomaly, and if they don't find a way out, they will be lost forever. However, old Will is also hiding his own plans. He intends to use the time portal to change the past and prevent his life from being destroyed. There is a major conflict between old Will and his father John, as his father does not approve of his radical methods. Old Will builds a trap to get the younger version of his family to stay and help him in his plans. He uses a robot that has been recovered by the younger Will as his main weapon. This leads to a dramatic fight between the two versions of the family. Judy, who develops a romantic relationship with Dawn throughout the movie, also finds herself at the center of events. Their relationship is put to the test when Dawn is seriously injured while protecting Judy during one of the fights. They are forced to decide if they can trust each other and are willing to work together despite their personal differences. As events unfold, all the while Dr. Smith continues to weave his plots. He finds a way to use the temporal anomalies for his own purposes and tries to change the course of events to benefit himself. However, his plans fail when he faces his own fears and realizes that his manipulations could lead to even more serious consequences. The climax of the film comes when the Robinson family realizes that the only way to return home is to activate the time portal and use it to create a new hyperjump. To do so, however, they must battle the robot now controlled by old Will. During the intense battle, John and Will realize that the only way to win is through trust and cooperation between all family members. John decides to sacrifice himself to destroy the portal and stop old Will. He says goodbye to his family, leaving them with a sense of loss and responsibility for the future ahead. At the last moment, Will, inspired by his father's sacrifice, finds a way to use a robot to go back in time and prevent devastating events. He corrects the mistake by destroying the old portal and thus saving his family. Jupiter 2 re-enters hyperspace and the Robinson family continues their journey to Alpha Prime, knowing that they have not only overcome all challenges, but have grown stronger as a team. The Robinson family continues their journey, and although they are still lost in space, their faith in each other and in their own strength gives them hope that they can find their way home and complete their mission.